Hi guys, good evening. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss some of the application problems in arithmetic and geometric progression. If you haven't seen my previous video of arithmetic and geometric progression, I request you to go back to the first video and watch the basics of arithmetic and geometric progression. You can come across some of the important formula in arithmetic and geometric progression and you can implement it here. Okay, now moving on to the first problem. The number of terms in the two series 17, 21, 25 up to 417 and 16, 21, 26 up to 466 is. Okay, you have been given two series. Okay, 17, 21, 25 up to 417 is one series and the other series is 16, 21, 26 up to 466 is the other one. Okay, let the first one be denoted by S1 and the second one be denoted by S2. They are asking you to find out how many number of terms are common between the two series. That is, what you have to do now, you have to pick up the numbers which are common between the two series and count how many numbers are common. Okay, for this let me give an example. Okay, easy example. Set A contains even numbers 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, that is multiples of 2. Set B contains 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, that is multiples of 3. Now what I have done, for each and every number I have added 2 to the next number, to the previous number to get the next one, correct? In this case, the B value, initial value is 3. I have added 3 to each and every number. Now I have circled the numbers which are in common. What are the numbers in common? 6 is common, it is at the very beginning stage itself. So the first number will be obviously 6. The next number common is 12 and the next number common is 18. Okay, so I have done it manually, but in exam if you are given a series which is bigger than this, you can't do it manually. You have to find out the first term manually, but second term, third term and fourth term you can't find it manually. I will tell you a technique. You have to use the concept of LCM, least common multiple. Here the common difference is 2 and here the common difference is 3. You have to take the least common multiple of the two common differences, that is 2 and 3. The LCM of 2 and 3 will be 6. Now you have already found out the first term 6. You are adding common difference to the first term, you are getting 12. You are adding common difference 6 to the second term, you are getting 18. You are adding 6 to the third term, you are getting 24. You are going to implement the same thing in our question also. Here the first common term among the two series is 21. Okay, the first common term among the two series is 21. Now the common difference of S1 is 4, the common difference of S2 is 5. Take the LCM of 4 and 5. The LCM of 4 and 5 will be 20. Adding 20 to the first term, we are getting 41. Adding 20 to 41, we are getting 61. We are getting 81. Like that it goes on, correct? So now observe carefully. After 100 you are getting a number 101. After 100 you are getting a number 101. So after 400 you should get a number 401. Okay, the order is the same, right? Common difference is 20. You are adding just 20 to it. So I cannot write down all the numbers. Instead I have taken the reference to be 100. If the reference is 100, then the next number is 101. So if the reference is 400, then the next number will be 401. Correct? Now we have to find out where the value ends, where the series ends actually. You have to find out the last value. How can we find out the last value? Come back to S1 and S2. Here the last value is 417. Here the last value is 466. This confirms that the last value cannot be greater than 417. Correct? So come here, the last value is 401. So if you are adding 20 to 401, it becomes 421. 421 is greater than 417. So it cannot be taken into consideration. So the last term is 401. You know the formula to find out the last term. Tn is equal to a plus n minus 1 into t. 402, substituting the value 401, a is 21, d is 20. You can find out the last term. The last term will be, the total, n is the total number of terms, right? So from this you are finding out the total number of terms. N is equal to 20. So there are totally 20 terms in the new series which we have formed. Right? Moving on to the next question. The product of third and fourth term of an arithmetic progression is 130. I am writing this down. T3 into T4 is equal to 130. If the ninth term is divided by the third term, the quotient is 2 and the remainder is 8. What is the sixth term of the arithmetic progression if all the terms are integers? Integers means minus 6, minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to positive infinity. The integers range from minus infinity to plus infinity. Okay. Now I am reading the first sentence only. The product of the third term and the fourth term of an arithmetic progression is 130. T3 into T4 is equal to 130. I can apply the formula method also, which I will be doing later. I'm sorry. First, let me teach you the shortcut, then the formula method. You try any method which is easy for you, which is convenient for you. Correct? So T3 is multiplied by T4. The third term is multiplied by the fourth term to get 130. Now you are factorizing this 130. What are all the factors which will give you 130? 1 into 130 will give you 130, or 130 into 1 will give you 130, 2 into 65 will give you 130, or 65 into 2, 5 into 26, 26 into 5, 10 into 13, 13 into 10. So in this way 130 can be factorized. Okay. Now before doing anything, we have to find whether this is an incremental progression or decremental progression. Incremental progression. What do you mean by incremental progression? In incremental progression, a common difference is added to each and every term. The progression keeps on incrementing. Here you see 1 is added to each and every term and the progression keeps on increasing. In decremental progression, it is the reverse. You are subtracting 1 from each and every term and the progression keeps on decreasing. Correct? In any incremental progression, if you divide any term with any of its previous term, the quotient will always be greater than 1. I hope you didn't understand. Let me explain you. Take this number 2. Okay, that is the second term. Divide it with the first term. The quotient will be 2. The remainder will be 0. So the quotient is greater than 1. Here you see 3 is divided by 1. Third term is divided by the first term. The quotient is 3. The remainder is 0. In the same way, I am picking up any two random numbers and dividing the bigger term with the smaller term. 5 and 2. I am considering this 5 and 2. I am dividing 5 divided by 2. I am getting 2.5. In all these three cases, I am getting the quotient greater than 1, which means it is an incremental progression. Whereas if you consider the example of decremental progression, I am dividing 9 by 10 or 8 by 10, something like that. I always end up getting a quotient which is lesser than 1. So this is decremental progression, right? So come to the question again. What is the sixth term they are asking? Okay, the quotient is 2. If the ninth term is divided by the third term, the quotient is 2. If the ninth term is divided by the third term, the quotient is 2, which means it is obviously going to be an incremental progression. We can strike out the other cases which I have written for decremental progression. So T3, T4, T4 is always greater than T3. So I have cancelled out these 4 cases, and considering these 4 cases alone, now observe my statement carefully. I am dividing in this incremental progression, I am dividing T2 by T1. T2 by T1, the quotient is 2, and T3 by T1, the quotient is 3. Here the denominator is always the same. The numerator is fixed in such a way that you are taking any term among the incremental progression. So T2 by T1, T3 by T1. Now T3 by T1 quotient will always be greater than the T2 by T1's quotient. In the same way, T9 by T3 quotient will always be greater than T4 by T3 quotient. Here they have given T4 by T3 quotient to be, here they have given T9 by T3 quotient to be 2, which means T4 by T3 should be lesser than 2. Consider the first case. 130 divided by 1, the quotient is 130, this has to be eliminated. 65 by 2, the quotient is 32.5, this has to be eliminated. 26 by 5, the quotient is 5.2, this has to be eliminated. So 13 divided by 10, the quotient will be 1. 13 divided by 10, 110 is 10, the quotient is 1, the remainder is 3. Here 1 is lesser than 2. So this is the only case which is accepted. So the third term will be 10, fourth term will be 13, which means the common difference is 3. The fifth term will be 16, and the sixth term will be 19. Correct? The sixth term will be 19. I can also put it in the other way, that is the formula method, and I will explain you. T3 multiplied by T4 will be 130. T3 is A plus 2D, T4 is A plus 3D is equal to 130. Now they have told me that the ninth term is divided by the third term. Ninth term is A plus 8D is divided by the third term A plus 2D. The quotient is 2 and the remainder is 8. Okay, that is why I have written here like this. So please refer to the question. If the ninth term is divided by the third term, the quotient is 2 and the remainder is 8. So whatever they given in the question, I have just presented here, nothing new. Okay, A plus 8D is equal to 2A, bringing 2 inside, 2A plus 4D plus 8. Then with this I am finding the value of A is equal to 4D minus 8. Substituting the value of A here in this equation, A plus 2D of A plus 3D, substitute the value of A as 4D minus 8. I am getting the value of only D, that is the value of D is in quadratic equation. if I solve this quadratic equation, I get two values of d. One is plus 3 and the other one is negative 11 by 21. As I told you earlier, since the quotient is greater than 1, this is obviously an arithmetic progression. This is obviously an incremental arithmetic progression. So d can never be negative value. Only the positive value of d can be taken as 3. Correct? Substituting the value of d over here, a is equal to 4d minus 8, I get the value of a, that is the first term. Using these two values, I am just calculating the value of the sixth term, a plus 5d, substituting the value of a as 4 and d as 3. I am getting the sixth term value as 19. Understood? Now moving on to the third question. If SR stands for the sum of the first R terms, then first R terms of an arithmetic progression, then S3R is to S2R minus R is equal to what? You know, the sum of n terms of an arithmetic progression is n by 2 of 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Okay? The sum of n terms, n here is 3r. I can solve this question using three methods. Okay, I am presenting to you the first method, substituting the value of n as 3r by 2 of 2a plus 3r minus 1 into d is to 2r by 2. That means s2r, 2n by 2 of 2a plus 2 n minus 1 into d. That is, instead of n, I am using the value of 2r. Here, instead of n, I have to use the value of r. Correct? Now, this is a ratio based question. I am taking 3r by 2 as common outside. Here I am taking r by 2 as common outside. Now I am taking r by 2 with r by 2. Correct? Once I am taking r by 2 with another r by 2, the next step is expansion of things which is inside the bracket. These things are very elementary. I think I need not explain it fully. Just by looking at it you can understand. So 3 of 2a plus 3r minus 1 into d. Now you are expanding this bracket also. 2 of 2a plus 2r minus 1 into d. That is, I am taking this 2 inside. That is, you have to expand all the brackets. Correct? You have to expand all the brackets and try to cancel out all the terms as possible and try to simplify the terms. You will be getting 3 of 2a plus 3r minus 1 into d is to 2a plus 3r minus 1 into d. You can strike out that 2a plus 3r minus 1 into d and 2a plus 3r minus 1 into d. You are getting the ratio as 3:1. Second method, sum of n consecutive natural numbers. You know, the sum of n consecutive natural numbers is given by the formula n of n plus 1 by 2. Substituting the value of n here, n is 3r, correct? 3r of 3r plus 1 divided by 2 is to 2r of 2r plus 1 divided by 2 minus r of r plus 1 divided by 2. And striking out the common terms r by 2, I am getting 3 into 3r plus 1 is to expanding this 2 inside. Taking this 2 inside, 4r plus 2 minus r minus 1. Now I am getting 3 of 3r plus 1 is to 3r plus 1. So I am cancelling this 3r plus 1 and 3r plus 1, getting this ratio as 3:1. So I am finding this method to be very easy when compared to this method. I suggest you to go through this method once again. Go through this. I will give you some time. Okay, let me move on to the third method. Now we have to find S3R is to S2R minus SR, correct? Now take the LCM of 3, 2 and 1. LCM of 3, 2 and 1 will be, that is the coefficient of R, correct? 3, 2 and 1 are coefficient of R. Take the LCM of 3, 2 and 1. LCM of 3, 2 and 1 is 6. So let 3R is equal to 6. If 3R is 6, then R is 2, correct? So S6 is to S2R will be, since R is 2, S2R will be S4 minus SR will be R value is 2, you are getting S2, correct? So n of n plus 1 by 2, sum of n consecutive natural numbers is given by n of n plus 1 by 2. Using this formula here, 6 into 7 by 2 is to sum of 4 consecutive natural numbers, 4 into 5 by 2 minus sum of 2 consecutive natural numbers, 2 into 3 by 2. Upon simplifying this, I am getting 42 is to 20 minus 6, 42 is to 14, which is 3 is to 1. This is also a very simple method. So I think method 2 and method 3 are more simple than the method 1. Okay. So the next two problems will not be pertaining to arithmetic or geometric progression, because these are very simple level problems. You can easily clear such questions if you get it in your question paper, if you get it in your exam. Okay, very simple. But to do this question number 4 and 5, you require a little bit of common sense. Okay, the nth term of the series is given by n by n plus 2. They are asking you to find the product of the third term, fourth term, fifth term, sixth term up to the 53rd term. Okay, the third term can be found out by applying the value of n here. T3 is equal to the value of n is 3. So 3 by 3 plus 2, 3 by 5. The fourth term is 4 by 4 plus 2, 6. The fifth term is 5 by 5 plus 2, 5 by 7. So the sixth term is 6 by 6 plus 2, 6 by 8. So you are multiplying all the terms together. We are getting 3 by 5 into 4 by 6 into 5 by 7 into 6 by 8 into 7 by 9 into 8 by 10, etc. They are asking you to find out the product until the 53rd term. So the 50th term will be 50 by 52, 51st term will be 51 by 53, 52nd term will be 52 by 54, the 53rd term will be 53 by 55. If you carefully observe, the first two terms will get cancelled nowhere else, whereas the numerator of the first two